Why do we create information products? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why a person would create an info product, but on the surface, your direct objective is predominantly going to be to create a money-making, highly educational product. It's important for us to look at the other reasons why you want success from your investment of time, money, energy, etc. into creating info products. Maybe you need to justify this business to your spouse. I know I went through that, and a lot of others go through it as well. Having a product that brings in just even a minimal amount of income can really quickly change the opinion about your business from that seems like a waste of time and money to her not minding you spending so much time on the computer or staying up so late. Now, I say her in this instance, but it can be him, if you're a gal. It's really interchangeable. I remember when I put my first e-course live on the net, and then I jumped on the forums and started answering people's real estate questions. I had my link in the forum signature, and that first day I sold 3 copies at $47 each and brought in roughly $150. Now, keep in mind, my wife-to-be and I, we were living in Colombia at the time, and for us at that time, that was a lot of money. When that happened, it was like a light bulb went off in Sandra's head, my now wife. Or maybe it was a cash register, but I didn't care. I just didn't have to justify the late nights and long hours. And, maybe you're not creating it because you're stuck in Colombia and need to create income. Maybe one of the main objectives to choosing your career as an addiction therapist was so that you could help as many other people change their lives and get past their addictions, maybe the way you did in your life. If that's the case, having an info product allows you to leverage your time and location so that you can help people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It allows your information, and essentially you, to be in Sweden, Australia, Japan, or the United States all at the same time. That person in Poland that just threw out their 5th pack of cigarettes that month, deciding enough is enough, they can find you at 3 a.m. during their utter despair when they need you most. When you look at it that way, you're actually doing them a disservice if you don't produce a product. I mean, why should they be forced to make an appointment? If you end up making a healthy income by helping people, what an awesome side benefit to achieving your ultimate goal of helping people. In addition to justifying your income and being available 24/7, having an info product will also further establish you as the expert in your niche. Creating info products lets you make money in the background. Here's why. Our entire education system, as well as the majority of professions, have ingrained us that we get paid X dollars in exchange for 1 hour's work. And we've all heard the stories about the doctor that makes $400 plus an hour, and the reason people mention hourly wages is because we can all relate it to the pathetic wages that we get paid per hour for our labor. Building a product flips that model on its ear because you'll work for several months to build a marketplace extension of your knowledge. But during that several month period, you'll most likely be making nothing. Most professionals would probably consider this a bad investment of their time because currently they're getting paid for each and every hour that they work. But once your product is finished, you're going to reap the rewards by selling it many times over for years to come. With a properly systemized sales funnel, that product can continue to earn money for you on autopilot for several years. So let's say it took you 3 months of part-time work to build that product. If you were paid $40 an hour to build that product and you work 15 hours a week on it, then the cost to you is $40 times 60 hours in the month, or $2,400 a month. If it took you 3 months to build it, you might have $7,200 plus hosting and a few other costs into your product creation, so let's call it $8,000. Now, keep in mind that there's probably only $800 in real cost. The rest is the time at $40 an hour that we're kind of assigning to you because you're investing your time, your spare time that you could be spending with your family or doing something different and earning money. I think it's very important that you do include this amount, in your cost analysis. So let's say it took you 3 months to build it and you have $7,200 in your time plus hosting and a few other costs, microphone, etc. And let's call it $8,000. But once you finish and start selling, let's say you're able to profit $2,000 a month from that product for the next 3 years. Well, that would give you an extreme return on your investment, bringing you $72,000 on an initial $8,000 investment of time. $72,000. When you divide that same 60 hours into your initial $8,000 investment of mostly time and a few resources, your effective hourly looks more like $1,200 per hour. So building info products actually gives you the ability to scale time. That sounds great, right? The challenge is this: we're mostly not wired to invest our time without a guaranteed return to pay the lousy bills at the end of the month. So you have to figure out why you will be willing to plug away at the computer late into the night until you have your product finished. Is it providing the things you didn't have for your kids? Is it showing your wife's parents that their daughter didn't make a mistake when she said yes to marrying you? Is it your boss that demeans you and treats you like garbage when you feel that you're hugely talented and an asset to the organization? Was it the brunette that snubbed you in high school only to date a guy that wasn't half the person you were? And you always swore if anyone from high school saw you in the future, you'd be rich and have an easy life. Maybe it's that feeling of not having enough money at the end of the month, or that embarrassment of having to ask your parents, or worse, your spouse's parents, for yet another loan. These are tough subjects, and I know they can sting a little. But in reality, if you don't have a stinging reason that drives you every day to get up early and work until late, chances are you're not going to ever do anything about your current situation. That's why they say when the why is big enough, then the how won't matter. And as cliche and overused as that sounds, I think it's true. I'd like you to do something for me. This is completely optional, but I think it's key to you seeing this through to the very end. You know, in this business, people that do see it through get paid. Most people quit before they ever get to the end. I want you to take a few minutes right now to figure out what it is that drives you to get things done. What motivates you? What gets you out of bed and working when you're tired and want to sleep in? What makes you finish while everyone around you recites excuses for their failure? Feel free to write them down. There's a little bit of space on the workbook there if you want it, and that's it for this chapter.